Alright guys, welcome once again to Hero-Villain Mashup, where I take one character or characters and have them kind of in a situation of what would it be like if they had this villain or villains from a different media in their rogues gallery. As you can see from the title, today I'm going to be having what would it be like if the Guardians of the Galaxy had to face off with Boba Fett from Star Wars. Yeah, Marvel and Star Wars. We're having a Disney crossover here, ladies and gentlemen. So, what would it be like if Boba Fett was in the Rogues Gallery for Guardians of the Galaxy? What would that be like if Boba Fett was, hunting the Guardians of the Galaxy? Now, it's no secret that Boba Fett is probably one of the most dangerous, if not the most, let's face it, he is the most dangerous bounty hunter in the Star Wars universe. And he has encountered, in the previous continuity, he has battled the likes of Darth Vader to a standstill twice. And he's taken on Force-sensitive beings before, but in the new continuity, according to that, in the new Star Wars comic, he didn't really know how to beat Luke Skywalker because it was a Jedi and he hadn't really fought one before. But aside from that, Boba is a force to be reckoned with. He didn't get the moniker of most dangerous bounty hunter from, doing nothing. So, I could see it that, someone, one of the Guardians' enemies, maybe even Star-Lord's dad, Jason, sends Boba to hunt them down. He sends Boba Fett to hunt them down, and boom, there you go. Now, the big thing is, yes, Boba is fighting a team. He's fighting a team of mostly superpowered beings. And I am going to, if you're wondering, before I go any further, I am going to be using the movie lineup, because that's probably the best known. So Boba is going to go up against Star-Lord, Groot, Drax, Gamora, and Rocket Raccoon. So, it's going to be 1-on-5. So, you may think, oh, well, Boba's at a disadvantage. He's fighting 1-on-5. Not necessarily. Boba specializes in fighting against teams. And plus, he's going to realize, I can't fight these guys in a head-on fight. There is no way, no how, that I am going to be taking on, 5 superpowered beings at once. So, going to take them on one by one. So that would be his thing, is that he would try to, the one thing with Boba is that he likes to study his opponents. He likes to study their movements. He wants to know how they think. So he'd usually just stay back, hang back, watch them, and then be like, okay, now I know what I got. I'm going to go in for the kill. Now, not to say the Guardians are, the Guardians of the Galaxy are I lost my train of thought. Not to say they're without their weaknesses, or they're a bunch of pushovers. They're not. So Boba's gonna have to play on his feet, and the Guardians are gonna they're gonna be fighting a guy who's relentless. When Boba gets a job and you are his target, he's not gonna let you go. There is no way you are gonna get away from Fett. So the Guardians are gonna be hunted down relentlessly, depending on where they go. They have to kill him. They would have to kill him, and this team is not above killing people. So, they would have, the only surefire way to do that is kill him, and Boba is a hard man to kill. Let's be honest, people. He is a very difficult man to take down. So, Now, one thing is that, Boba has all these, all this gear on him. I would actually love to see a scene, I would absolutely love to see like a scene of Boba taking out one of his guns, and Rocket like, oh, I know what, his main blaster, his main, I can't remember the name of the designation of the gun, but the one he always carries, like, he takes out and starts aiming it at the team, and Rocket's like, oh, man, I know what I want for Christmas. Yeah. So, I think the two biggest problems for, Boba, in this team, would be Groot and Gamora. Drax would be up there too, but I think he would realize that the two biggest threats that he couldn't, he'd really have to play some strategy into would be Groot and Gamora. Gamora being probably the most dangerous woman in the galaxy, and Groot, who is, Groot is extremely hard to kill. he can come back from virtually almost anything. And not to say, Drax, Star-Lord, and Rocket are not dangerous in their own rights. I think Boba would categorize, from most dangerous to, the one he has to worry about the least. So, and the other thing is that, the thing is that the Guardians of the Galaxy are all collectively dangerous. So I think what he would have to do is, like I said, Boba would be smart enough to realize, I'm not going to take on all these guys at once. There is no way in hell I am going to, fight all these guys and take them on all at once. So what he would probably do is hunt them down one by one, let them come to him. He would find someone, like maybe a friend or friends or something of that nature, bring the Guardians to him, make them play by his rules, make them, come down to like a planet or something like that they have to play by his rules, and he would try his best to split them up. And he would just be systematically hunting them down one by one. And the Guardians are really going to have to, stick together as a group to, pretty much survive him. So that would be the thing, is that Boba, even though he's just one guy, he's a very dangerous guy on his own. You got to remember that. So that would be the thing, is that, the team would really have to, keep close together, and, try not to get separated. And even separated, they would still put up a fight, but, there is strength in numbers, and Boba does work alone, even though you do see him with other bounty hunters like Bosk and Dengar, but the dude preferably works alone. Although, there could be a chance that, depending on how much money, comes out of this, he may try to get some other bounty hunters on his side, such as Dengar and Bosk, as well as a few other bounty hunters, depending on how big of the credits he has and how much he's willing to share. So that might be another thing right there. So that's one thing you got to look at, is that depending on, if the credits, if Boba decides, I like life, but I also love credits, I think I'm going to choose life more, and maybe he'll call the other bounty hunters up and be like, look, this is how much they're paying us, and this is how much I'm willing to share with you. But it could depend on, maybe Boba just wants more of the, wants most of the money to himself. So, yeah. So with that, all that kind of, all those kind of elements right there. So, yeah, Boba is a dangerous, relentless, just a, this guy is he is probably one of the most dangerous characters in the Star Wars universe for a reason. He may be a cloned Mandalorian, but he still trains and fights like a Mandalorian. And these guys have been known to kill Jedi. So, but yeah, that's the thing. But on the other hand, the Guardians of the Galaxy, you got a half-human, half-alien leader who's a shit-talker and a damn good bandit as well as sharpshooter. You've got the most dangerous woman in the galaxy, a genetically engineered raccoon that has an affinity for big guns, a tree creature that can regenerate from almost anything, and just a brutal space barbarian who in the comics has a very interesting origin. If you guys know the true origin of Drax, then you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, so that way, there is just so many elements in here that would just really, make this I think, if Star Wars, if Boba Fett was in the Marvel Universe, you could definitely see him as a Guardians of the Galaxy villain. He would definitely be hunting them on occasion, or even, depending on, if they're going after the same thing, you could actually see him kind of working with the Guardians, depending on the situation. So that would be, that would be it, is that Boba Fett would be a great villain for the Guardians of the Galaxy, and kind of pseudo-ally, again, depending on the situation. But yeah, that's kind of how I see the hero-villain, mashup, this hero-villain mashup would go, at least. So, yeah, really curious to know, and yeah, I think this is the first time I've done a Marvel-Disney one. Marvel Star Wars one. I think this was a first. But you guys tell me, what do you guys think it would be like if Boba Fett was an enemy to the Guardians of the Galaxy? Do you think Boba Fett would kill them all, or do you think the Guardians of the Galaxy would just overwhelm him with their with their combined strength or, separate skills and just completely overrun him? So that's a big element right there, is that can Boba really just fight alone? Can he take them on all by himself, or do you think he may call in other bounty hunters, or do you think he would really, screw with their heads? Really interested to see what you guys have to say about this one, because, yeah, I really wanted to do one with Boba Fett, and I hadn't really talked about Guardians of the Galaxy in a while, and then I just had I guess you could say, the Reese's Pieces moment right there, and ta-da, here we are. Yeah. So, once again, really interested to hear what you guys have to say about this one, and once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.